amigos, amigas. Soy Ace the Explorer. Do you want to go with an adventure with me? Oh no! There is an upcoming typhoon!
Typhoon? Do you know what is a typhoon?
Not really.
Well, according to my magical paper, typhoon is actually a category of tropical cyclone, which means it is a system of thunderstorms that are moving around a center. As the winds intensifies or weaken, the category is upgraded or downgraded. We can call a typhoon if it reaches 119 to 200 kilometers per hour. Typhoon has also three main parts, which are the eye wall, and rain bands. The term typhoon is only used in the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean. Now you know what is a typhoon. Let's proceed.
Now that you've learned what a typhoon is, he also mentioned the different parts of it. Do you want to know what the different parts of typhoon are? If so, let's go! Huh? Where am I? What's this magical place? The last thing I remembered is that someone was educating me about what a typhoon is. Ever since then, I've always wondered what are the parts of it.
Huh? Typhoons? Different parts? I know it because of my magical paper. Hola amigos. Do you know that a typhoon is a powerful and destructive storm that forms over tropical ocean? It is one of the most destructive natural disasters on Earth, and its effect can be felt across the world. Typhoons are made up of several different parts, each of which contributes to the storm's overall strength and destruction. The eye of a typhoon is the center of the storm and is usually the calmest part. It is usually surrounded by a wall of clouds and is usually the first part of the storm to be seen from the ground. The eye is usually between 10 to 30 miles in diameter and is usually the most destructive part of the storm. A mature typhoon can be roughly separated into the eye wall, and the spiral rain bands based on the cloud structure. The center of a typhoon, or the eye, is typically round in shape. The eye wall is the ring of clouds that surround the eye of the typhoon. It is usually the most intense part of the storm and contains the strongest wind and heaviest rainfall. The eye wall can reach heights up to 50,000 feet and can contain wind up to 200 kilometers per hour. The rain bands are the outmost parts of the typhoon and are usually the most visible from the ground. Rain bands are made up of clusters of thunderstorms and can stretch of hundreds of miles. They are usually responsible for the majority of the rainfall associated with a typhoon. The outflow is the air that is pushed away from the typhoon as it moves. The outflow is the responsible for the formation of new thunderstorms and can help to strengthen the typhoon. Finally, the storm surge is the rise of water level that occurs when a typhoon moves over the ocean. The storm surge can be devastating as it can cause flooding and destruction along the coast. These are the main parts of the typhoon, and each plays an important role in the typhoon's overall strength and destruction. Understanding these parts can help us to better prepare and respond to typhoon in the future. A typhoon is a large rotating storm system that flows over tropical or subtropical water in the western Pacific Ocean. These typhoons are classified according to their strength and size. The classification system used by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, or JTWC, is based on the maximum sustained wind speed of the storm. Typhoons are classified into five categories: tropical depression, tropical storm, subtropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon. A tropical depression is a storm system with maximum sustained wind of 38 miles per hour or 61 km per hour or less. A tropical storm has maximum sustained wind of 39 to 73 miles per hour or 63 to 118 kilometers per hour. A severe tropical storm has a maximum sustained wind of 74 to 95 miles per hour or 119 to 153 kilometers per hour. A typhoon has a maximum sustained wind of 96 to 110 miles per hour or 154 to 177 kilometers per hour. A super typhoon has a maximum sustained wind of 111 miles per hour or simply 178 kilometers per hour or greater. Typhoons are classified according to their location. Typhoons that form in the western Pacific Ocean are known as West Pacific typhoons. Typhoons that form in the eastern Pacific Ocean are known as East Pacific typhoons. Typhoons that form in the Indian Ocean are known as the Indian Ocean typhoon. Typhoon can cause significant damage and destruction to coastal areas. It is important to be aware of the classification system used to classify typhoons so that people can be prepared for the potential impact of a typhoon.
Oh no! A typhoon is about to form!
Do you know how typhoons form?
No, I don't. Can you enlighten me?
Well, according to my magical paper, all types of precipitation are produced by clouds, which are formed when the water has evaporated from the sea or ocean, is lifted upward into the atmosphere and condenses. Tropical cyclones are strong cyclonic circulations that occasionally occur. Warm core low pressure systems called tropical cyclones have spiral inflows of mass at the bottom and spiral outflows at the top. They consistently form over oceans where the air and sea surface temperatures are higher than 26.5 degrees Celsius. As it spirals towards the center, the air picks up a lot of sensible and latent heat. Due to the high amount of sea spray that the wind throws into the air, the heat exchange from the water can happen quickly. Once the typhoon has grown, it must be fed constantly. High humidity is therefore necessary close to the storm's eye. Greater low pressure systems are created as more heat interacts with cold air, increasing wind speed. However, the main question is from where do the low pressure winds come? The air cools as a result of the northeast and southeast trade winds coming together. When the cooling interacts with the warm water, a typhoon begins to form as a result. There won't be a typhoon if these winds never collide, since there won't be a low pressure system. How does this typhoon form? First, the warm tropical oceans heat the air above them. Low pressure causes the heated air to climb up quickly. 2. Strong winds are brought on by the rising air, which also pulls up a significant amount of moisture from the ocean. 3. The air spins upward around a calm central eye of the storm due to the Coriolis effect. 4. As the air rises, it cools and condenses to create cumulonimbus clouds, which are huge and towering and produce heavy rain. When the air cools, heat is released, which fuels the tropical storm. 5. Cold, cold air enters the eye. Since there are no clouds, the atmosphere is drier, clearer, and much quieter. 6. The dominant wind carries the tropical storm across the ocean. 7. When a tropical storm hits land, it loses power and weakens because it is no longer fueled by ocean's moisture and heat. Now you know the causes of the typhoon and how it forms. I hope you understand, amigos.
Hola amigos, I'm Maggie and I'm from the Philippines. Using my magical device, I'm going to teach you how to plot a PAR. Before we go on, what is PAR? Well, PAR stands for the Philippine Area of Responsibility. PAR is the area around the Philippines where weather disturbances occur. So where does the PAR start and end? We can mark these specific points in order to create what we call the PAR. Our first location is 5 degrees north and 115 degrees east. Next is 15 degrees north and 115 degrees east. Our third location is 21 degrees north and 120 degrees east. Fourth is 25 degrees north and 120 degrees east.
Fifth is 25 degrees north and 135 degrees east. And lastly, we have 5 degrees north and 135 degrees east. If we connect all of these imaginary points, we can create an area which we call park. Anything that is beyond that measurement does not belong in the park. According to my magical device, you can see tropical cyclones form in the ocean, just like the tropical storm Yo-Yo that happened on 2004. Another example of this is the tropical cyclone called Agatha, which happened on 2002. It started on 134 degrees east and ended on Luzon at 19 degrees north. The tropical cyclone named Wani, which happened on 2005, started near the center of the par, which was 130 degrees north, but it stopped outside of the par, which was near the mainland of China. Lastly, this tropical cyclone didn't start at the par, nor did it end there. But when it happened in 2003, the country was on its way towards the Philippines. This weather disturbance was called the tropical cyclone Haruro. As you can see, the tropical cyclones generally move in a northwest direction. The reason is because there are large-scale winds that push the tropical cyclones in that direction. This is similar to the way a whirlpool is carried along by a flowing stream. As you can observe, all four tropical cyclones struck the northern part of the Philippines. That's it, amigos and amigas. I hope that you learned how to plot a par. Gracias!
An upcoming typhoon is about to occur. What should we do?
Hola, amigo! Luckily, I'm with my magical paper, and I'll be talking about the various things you can do before, during, and after a typhoon to protect yourself, your family, and your home. Here are several ways to prepare for an upcoming typhoon. Number 1. Keep an eye on weather reports and don't disregard text messages with rain warnings. Number 2. Make your Make your own lifeline kit with essentials such as food, money, documents, and toiletries to last you 2 to 3 days. Make sure you have enough food and water. In case of a power outage, keep the following items on hand: a battery powered audio, flashlights, spare batteries, rechargeable lamps, and candles. Examine your home for anything that needs to be repaired or secured, such as leaking of roof or overgrown trees. If you live in a low-lying area, park your car higher up, for example, in a mall parking lot. Place your pets in a secure location. If your local government unit issues an evacuation order, or if you live near a body of water or mountainsides, evacuate immediately and calmly to avoid flash floods and landslides. Close all windows and turn off the main power source. Make a plan to communicate with your family during a typhoon, and always keep your phones charged. Now that you've learned the different types or the different ways on how to prepare for a typhoon, let's pre- let's move on to what to do during a typhoon. Stay at home on a secure location. If you absolutely if you absolutely must leave your home, avoid areas prone to flooding or landslides. Keep an eye out for flying objects and debris. Cancel all outdoor plans and travel plans. If you absolutely must travel during a typhoon, drive carefully. Wear dry and warm clothing. Keep up with the latest weather reports. Keep your valuables safe on high ground. To avoid leptospirosis and other waterborne diseases as well as electrocution, do not wade through the flood. Prevent children from playing in the rain or swimming in floodwaters. If you run out of portable water, boil your remaining supply for 3 to 20 minutes to make it safe to drink. Cover and seal all food and water containers. Candles and gas lamps should be kept out of reach of children and pets. Consult a doctor right away if you or a family member is sick or has disease symptoms. Your typhoon preparedness extends beyond the storm, even after the worst has happened. You must stay alert for risks or dangers. According to the Red Cross, being self sufficient during the first 3 days after a disaster is critical. Water, electricity, and communication lines are typically unavailable at this time. Here is a list of safety precautions to follow in an aftermath of a typhoon in the Philippines. Only leave the evacuation zone when the authorities declare it safe to do so. If your house was damaged by the typhoon, make sure it's safe and stable before entering. Keep an eye out for live wires or outlets that have been submerged in water. Do not plug in or use flooded appliances or other electrical devices. To prevent mosquito breeding, Remove any water that has accumulated in containers, cans, tires, and pots. Notify the authorities if any electrical posts or cables are damaged. Inspect your vehicle for any flood related damage. Continue to keep an eye on news for any new typhoon in the Philippines. And that's how you can protect yourself, your family, and your home before, during, and after a typhoon. Until our next adventure, amigos, amigas, see you!
Do you want to test your learnings? Well, I've got a surprise for you. Rainer, my friend, has prepared a quiz for you to answer.
Hola amigas, I am here with my magical paper to tell you the quiz. Number 1, it is the central part of a typhoon. A an eye, B eye wall, C rain band, or D wind. Yes, the correct answer is letter A, eye. Eye is the central part of a typhoon. Number 2, PAR stands for A Philippine Area of Restriction, B Philippine Area of Responsibility, C Philippine Autonomy and Responsibility, or D Philippine Authority for Responsibility. Yes, the correct answer is letter B, Philippine Area of Responsibility. Now let's proceed to number 3. Every year, the Philippines experience at least how many typhoons? A 20, B 30, C 40, or D 50. Yes, the correct answer is letter A, 20. Number 4. Tropical cyclones in the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean are called A. Cyclones, B. Bagyo, C. Hurricane, or D. Typhoon. The correct answer is letter D, Typhoon. How about in the northeastern of Pacific Ocean? A. Cyclones, B. Bagyo, C. Hurricane, and D. Typhoon. Yes, the correct answer is letter C, hurricane. Now let's move on to number 6. How about the Filipinos? A. Cyclones, B. Bagyo, C. Hurricane, or D. Typhoon? Yes, the answer is obvious. It is letter B, Bagyo. Number 7. What year did Super Typhoon Yolanda hit the Philippines? A. 2010, B. 2011, C. 2012, or letter D. 2013? Yes, the correct answer is letter D. 2013. Number 8. It is a system of thunderstorms that are moving around a center. As the winds intensify or weakens, the category is upgraded or downgraded. What is it? A. Typhoon, B. Tropical cyclone, C. Tropical depression, or letter D. Low pressure area. Yes, the correct answer is tropical cyclone. Number 9. Tropical cyclones need blank to form. A. Warm ocean, B. Cold ocean, C. Water vapor, or D. Wind. The correct answer is C. Water vapor. Most of you probably answered letter A. Warm ocean. Tropical cyclones form in warm ocean, but tropical cyclones needs water vapor in order to form. Number 10, and the last question. It is a tropical cyclone category that has a wind speed of 201 kilometers per hour and up. A. Tropical depression, B. Tropical storm, C. Typhoon, or D. Super typhoon. Yes, the correct answer for our last question is letter D. Super typhoon. So, what score did you get? Did you get a perfect score? Then, awesome! Until our next adventure, bye!
And that's all for our adventures. We hope you learned a lot. Until next time, explorers, graduates.